Welcome back to Coin Collector's World, the place where every coin tells a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of America's most fascinating and mysterious coins, the 1960 Lincoln cent, a humble copper penny that carries with it a tale of error, rarity, and incredible value. Now, imagine this for a moment. You're sorting through a handful of old coins, maybe from your pocket, maybe from your grandfather's old jar, and you come across a simple 1-cent piece. It's small, brown, and ordinary. But what if that coin, that tiny piece of copper, was secretly one of the rarest treasures in U.S. coin history? What if it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? That's the story we're uncovering today. The year was 1960. America was thriving, the economy was strong, and the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln cents every single day. Most of them came out perfectly ordinary, but a few, just a few, carried something extraordinary. The Denver Mint, identified by that tiny letter D under the date, a strange and unexpected event took place. Two different date styles were used that year, a large date and a small date. For reasons still debated among collectors and historians, the dies were accidentally mixed during production. The result? A rare and remarkable coin known today as the 1960 small over large date Lincoln cent. It's one of those beautiful accidents of history, the kind of mistake that turns a simple coin into a collector's dream. At first glance, the coin looks like any other penny. But when you look closer, under a magnifying glass, you'll see the truth. The numbers in the date aren't quite right. The smaller digits were struck over the larger ones, creating a fascinating layered effect, a clear overlap that reveals the mint's human touch. This wasn't done on purpose. It wasn't planned. It just happened, and that's what makes it so valuable. Every detail on this coin tells a story. On the front, we see the timeless face of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a portrait that represents honesty, leadership, and the enduring American spirit. On the back, the simple yet powerful wheat ears design, symbolizing growth, unity, and the strength of the nation. For decades, this design carried America's story in copper, traveling through hands, pockets, and lives. But this 1960 cent? It carries something more, a rare historical fingerprint that connects collectors directly to a moment in minting history. Coin experts and collectors have spent decades hunting for this variety. Many of them recall the excitement of searching through endless rolls of pennies, hoping to spot that small over large date combination. Some never find one. But those who do, they discover a treasure worth far more than its face value. Now let's talk about value, because this is where the magic really comes alive. A regular 1960 penny is just a cent. Even a shiny uncirculated one might fetch $1 or $2. But the rare small over large date variety, especially in mint condition with its original copper luster still glowing after more than 60 years, is a completely different story. Collectors and auction houses have seen this coin rise to legendary status. Its value isn't just in the metal, but in the history, the rarity, and the passion it inspires among collectors. Over the years, certain high-grade examples have fetched incredible prices in the coin market, and yes, one of these extraordinary 1960 Lincoln cents has sold for a breathtaking $55,000. Just think about that for a second, $55,000 for a 1-cent coin. A piece of metal smaller than your thumb, something most people ignore, dropped in parking lots, or left forgotten in jars, could be worth as much as a luxury car or even a down payment on a house. This is the magic of numismatics, the world of coins. It reminds us that every coin in our hands could hold a secret, a piece of history, or a hidden story waiting to be discovered. So, next time you're sorting through your spare change, pay attention. Look closely at every detail, especially the date and that little mint mark under it. Check if it's 1960 with a D mint mark. Look carefully at the numbers. You might just find those overlapping digits, that faint trace of the small date hiding above the large 1. And if you do, you may have discovered one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cents ever struck in the United States. Here at Coin Collector's World, we celebrate these stories, the stories of hidden treasures, human mistakes that became masterpieces, and the thrill of discovery that keeps collectors searching year after year, because in the world of coin collecting, patience and passion are everything. Every jar of old coins, every roll of pennies, every dusty drawer could hold a miracle. The 1960 Lincoln cent reminds us that sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest stories. So keep your eyes open, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of a single penny, because one simple coin, struck in 1960 at the Denver Mint, proved that even the smallest piece of metal can carry a story worth $55,000. Have you ever held a penny in your hand and wondered if it could secretly be worth a fortune? Most of us see pennies as small, ordinary coins with almost no value. But what if I told you that one special penny from 1983 has shocked coin collectors across America and turned ordinary pocket change into thousands of dollars? Yes, we're talking about the mysterious and incredibly valuable 1983 1-cent coin with no mint mark. Back in 1983, something unusual happened in the world of U.S. coinage. The year before, in 1982, the United States Mint made a major change. For decades, pennies had been made mostly out of copper. But because copper became too expensive, the Mint decided to switch to a cheaper metal called zinc, with just a thin copper coating on top. From 1983 onward, every new penny was supposed to be zinc-based, lighter, and less costly to produce. However, during this big transition, a few mistakes were made at the Mint. Somehow, a small number of 1983 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets, the same heavy metal blanks used before 1982. This mistake created a rare coin that was never meant to exist. And that's where our story begins. Imagine a coin that looks just like any other penny. It has Abraham Lincoln's portrait on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. But hidden beneath that familiar design lies something completely different. The difference is in the weight and the metal itself. Most 1983 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams because they're made of zinc. But the rare 1983 copper penny weighs around 3.11 grams. That tiny difference in weight is what makes this coin worth a small fortune. Collectors call it the 1983 Lincoln cent struck on a copper planchet. Because the Mint didn't officially produce any copper cents that year, finding one is like uncovering buried treasure. Experts believe only a handful of these rare coins exist, and they've been confirmed through professional grading and metal testing. Now, if you're curious to find out whether you have one of these rare pennies, all you need is a good digital coin scale. Gently place your 1983 penny on the scale. If it weighs about 2.5 grams, it's the regular zinc version. But if it tips the scale closer to 3.1 grams, then congratulations. You might be holding one of the rarest coins in modern U.S. history. The story doesn't stop there. Over the years, coin collectors and treasure hunters have searched through millions of pennies trying to find this special one. Some have spent years checking old jars, cash registers, and coin rolls just for the chance to discover it. And when one finally shows up, it makes headlines across the coin collecting world, because this small, reddish coin, simple and unassuming, has sold for massive amounts at coin auctions. Experts and collectors go wild for it, not only because of its rarity, but also because it represents a mistake that slipped past the precision of the U.S. Mint. A rare accident that turned into a golden opportunity for those lucky enough to find one. So next time you come across a 1983 penny, don't ignore it. Take a closer look. You might want to weigh it carefully and see if it's the right one. Who knows? Maybe sitting right there in your drawer or coin jar is a coin that could completely change your day. And here's the best part. One verified example of the 1983 no mint mark Lincoln cent made of copper has been sold for an unbelievable price, $40,000. Today we're going to talk about a coin that has shocked collectors around the world, the 1984 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. At first, this little copper coin might look like every other penny you've ever seen. It's small, simple, and easy to overlook. But what if I told you that this exact coin, sitting quietly in someone's old drawer or coin jar, could actually be worth thousands of dollars? That's right, a single cent from 1984 has the potential to change your life. To understand why this coin is so special, we have to go back to the story of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it has become one of the most beloved and longest-running coins in American history. Over the decades, billions of them have been minted for circulation, each one carrying the image of Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But not every penny is created equal. Sometimes, a small minting mistake can turn an ordinary coin into something truly extraordinary. In 1984, something fascinating happened at the Philadelphia Mint. The mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents, but a small number of them came out with a rare and mysterious error. This error didn't affect the date, or the lettering, or the memorial on the back. It appeared in a place most people would never think to look. The error was on Abraham Lincoln's ear. When examined closely under a magnifying glass, this coin shows what collectors call a double die error. It looks as if Lincoln has a second earlobe, a faint but clearly visible line that shouldn't be there. This doubling happened because, during the die creation process, the image was impressed twice at slightly different angles. It's a mechanical error, but one that only occurs rarely. When such coins slip through quality control and enter circulation, they become instant treasures. For the 1984 penny, the doubling on Lincoln's ear is distinct enough that once you know where to look, you'll never mistake it. You can spot it with the naked eye if you have good lighting, but using a magnifier makes it even clearer. Now, here's how you can check if your 1984 penny is the rare one. First, look at the date. It must say 1984. Then look below the date. There should be no mint mark. That means the coin was struck in Philadelphia. Finally, focus on Lincoln's ear. If you notice what looks like a second ear or a shadow-like line just below the first one, congratulations, you may be holding one of the most valuable pennies ever made. Collectors love error coins because they are pieces of history that remind us that even in a world of machines and precision, mistakes can still happen. And when those mistakes are rare enough, they become highly sought-after treasures. The 1984 doubled ear penny is one of the most famous modern errors. While billions of regular 1984 pennies exist, only a small number of these doubled ear varieties were made. That's what makes them so rare and desirable. Now let's talk about condition. Condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. If your penny is worn out, scratched, or faded from years of use, it will still have value, but not nearly as much as one that has been carefully preserved. Coins that have never been circulated, known as mint state coins, are where the real money is. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate these coins under strict conditions and give them a grade based on sharpness, shine, and overall preservation. Over the years, the 1984 no mint mark doubled ear penny has gained legendary status among collectors. It's featured in coin guides, auction listings, and numismatic exhibitions. Many collectors dream of finding one because it's proof that treasure can still be found in everyday change. Imagine searching through your old coins and suddenly spotting that tiny doubling under Lincoln's ear. Your heart would skip a beat. And for good reason. Because that 1 cent could be worth more than a brand new car. The beauty of coin collecting is that it combines history, mystery, and a little bit of luck. Every coin has a story. The 1984 penny tells the story of a small error that escaped unnoticed, traveled through time and hands, and eventually became a symbol of how value can hide in plain sight. Some of these coins have been found by complete beginners, people who just started looking through their change for fun. Others have been discovered by expert collectors who knew exactly what to look for. Either way, every discovery adds a new chapter to this coin's amazing legacy. So what about the value? How much is this rare 1984 Lincoln cent actually worth today? Well, the price depends on several factors, like condition, rarity, and collector demand. A well-worn example might sell for a few $100s, while a coin in better shape could go for several thousand. But a top-graded, pristine example, one that looks just like it came fresh from the mint, can sell for a truly shocking amount of money. In fact, one of these 1984 Lincoln pennies with no mint mark and the famous doubled ear error has been sold for as much as $38,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, small enough to slip through your fingers, could be worth $38,000. That's more than the price of a brand new car, more than a year's salary for many people, all hidden inside something you might overlook every day. So before you spend your next penny, take a moment to look at it closely. Check the date. Check for the mint mark. And don't forget to look at Lincoln's ear. Because the next time you reach into your pocket, you might just pull out a piece of American history that's worth a fortune. Remember, treasures don't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes, they come in copper and zinc, quietly waiting for the right person to notice them. The 1984 no mint mark Lincoln cent is proof that even the smallest coin can carry an incredible story and a life-changing value. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Coin Collectors World Official Network, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our updates about rare coins and valuable finds. Share this video with your friends and family. Who knows, maybe one of them has a hidden treasure in their change jar right now. Keep searching, keep collecting, and never underestimate the value of what's in your pocket. Because sometimes, even solid pennies make you rich. Do you believe this?